listen.
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
There's nobody in Tacoma I'd rather be talking to right now. There's nobody on the planet I'd rather be talking to right now than Daniel Bard. This is great, man. I appreciate you allowing me to experience a part of the world which I've never experienced, which is Tacoma, Washington.
Northwest, baby.
The Northwest. I'm driving here, a lot of pine trees.
A lot of green.
A lot of casinos and pine trees.
Yeah, I've only been here once, so this is all new to me.
Really?
Too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Tell me through, so let's just get down to the brass tacks, because you got to go out and dominate. Tell me, when you were going through, first of all, congratulations on coming back. Congratulations on being you.
Thank you.
Tell me the process when ultimately, when you work, then you show up for teams, and then obviously you have interest in teams, and then you make the decision. Take me through that.
Yeah, so I kind of got to a point where I felt pretty good about the way I was throwing the ball. Obviously not all the way back to where I want to be, but felt like it was good enough to maybe get signed and hopefully get some outs. And so we put together a list of teams, mostly teams that are competitive this year.
And when was it? When did you do the showcase for?
What was that? Late May.
Late May. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, 3 or 4 teams. Felt like I threw okay. I don't think it was my best day, but good enough to get a few looks, and narrowed it down to 3 or 4. And Mariners just kind of showed the most interest from the get-go. So I just had a good feeling about it.
So you go through, and I know, listen, man, what you went through in terms of, it's tough. You were with the Rockies, but you weren't with the Rockies, and you're going through the rehab, and you're trying to be a good teammate, and you're trying to rehab, and you're trying to do all this stuff. Then you get to the off season, and you're still trying to rehab, all of that. I mean, was there at any point where you're like, man, this is, I don't know.
Yes, there was a few of those
really?
Points. Yeah, I mean, any long, arm rehab has its ups and downs. So there's days where you just physically, your elbow just doesn't feel good, or your velocity gets stuck at a certain number, and you're like, I don't know if there's more in there. So there's just a lot of things that kind of knock you down, and it's, if I had to come back, obviously you just grind through. You have to grind through it, right? But for me, this is my decision if I want to try to play again. So took a couple breaks, whether it was take a week off here and there, give the arm a little break, give the mind a little break, and come back to it. And I always told myself, I'll know if I want to do it again. And I got to a point where I did want to just give it one more shot.
When did you get to that point? When do you lock it in and say, okay, we're going to do this?
I think it was late April, probably.
Okay.
That was basically when I hit a year out of surgery, and which is kind of the time when if I was under contract, that's when I'd be getting back into games and stuff. So it was all right, it's kind of now or never.
So you say, do you gather around the family, because you also have mastered, being a parent, tennis, swimming, whatever it is, but it is, you didn't have to go to spring training, which was a thing, being around the family. Did you gather around the family? Do you gather around the kids and say, all right, kids, here's a ballot, put your thing in the box?
The kids did not have much say.
Oh, really?
That's not true. I did talk to him about it, but mainly it's this, if my wife, if Adair's up for it, and she said she was. And so far,
did you believe her?
It's a day-by-day thing.
Yeah.
It's her doing the single parent thing. It's amazing what moms have to do. When we're on the road for weeks at a time. So, I think we were all kind of all in. It's hey, let's give it one more go. It's a short season. It's going to be a shorter season for me. So just kind of grind it out and see where it takes us.
So when you get to that point and you're jumping on in, even then, did you have any like as you said, you had the showcase and it was good, but it was like you would like it to be. I'm blowing 98 and everything's awesome.
Of course.
After doing that, and the teams, a lot of teams will say, "Yeah, we're interested," but you know how that works.
And there was a couple of those, yeah.
Of like,
showed some interest, and then when it came down to, hey, make your best offer, and they were dragging their feet still. So it was the Mariners and one other team that really came down to showing.
And they were West Coast teams too, which probably complicated it a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, East Coast would have been ideal for my family situation, but at the end of the day, it was, hey, if you want to play, you got to go somewhere that you're wanted and some place that wants to give you a shot. If that's 3,000 miles away, then that's just
it's only a few
what you do. Exactly.
And maybe extended, and this what a great story is going to be when you get to the final out of the World Series.
That's right.
So when you do you agree with the Mariners. What was that feeling like? I mean, I'm doing a lot of like, what's that feeling like? But it's like, this is all new, right?
Yeah, and the strange thing was, like you said, I was home a lot last season. I did some rehab in Colorado, but a lot of it was at home. And the whole off season, then into this season, all at home. Doing my work in the mornings while the kids are at school, but then I'm home for the afternoon and dinner every night and sleeping at home. And it was like almost a year and a half of being around my kids every day. So that's not something we normally get as ball players. So I got a little spoiled, and so did they. We're used to being a unit, being together, and it's like, got to leave for weeks.
Was that day tough?
Yes, it was tough.
I mean, you did it before, but not.
Yeah, and the kids get older.
Yeah.
As they get older, they kind of understand it more. Like, we're not going to see them for a while. So yeah, there were some tears shed. It's not. Yeah. I try to look at it as like those are hard moments, but it's good to toughen them up a little bit too. So. And
also, you listen. I mean, I've said this a bunch of times. You know what'll happen if you stick around, which is great, right? You're around your parents, but who knows what memories you'll make,
right?
If you take this a couple month challenge and venture.
And I think I always kind of every decision I make now is like, how will my kids view this? They may not see it now, but when they're deciding whether to take on some challenge later in life, like I can be like, hey, remember that time? I had to leave you guys for a couple months, but I got to do this cool thing. Or I didn't get to do it. It didn't work out, but it was like, I'm glad I did it. There's lessons to be learned, whether it works out perfectly or not. So I'm just kind of going into this, like, see where things are at, and basically just try to enjoy getting to throw a baseball again.
So that's the thing. You go to Arizona, right, first, right? And then you start throwing. You put on Seattle Mariners gear for the first time. You get the chance to throw a baseball. You get a chance to be around coaches. You get a chance to compete. It's that part of it, because that's something that that also had been a year.
Yeah,
right?
Year and a half since I'd thrown a baseball with a team on my chest. So it was just me working out with a couple buddies back home. For the most part. So it kind of makes everything real, and it's like, okay, this is what I've been working for the last year. I've gotten to the point where I don't try to set hard goals on results, or I have to be in the big leagues by a certain date, or even the big leagues at all. It's like, hey, I'm a AAA pitcher right now. I'm gonna be the best one I can be.
You got a sweet hat.
I got a sweet hat with a donkey on it or something. And, I'll have this one. No, I'm just gonna try to take it as this is where I'm at, and enjoy it and see where it leads me.
And so when you get going, all these times that we talked, why you had the brace in your arm, and we talking about the art of pitching and where baseball is, everything else, and now you're probably like, when you get dropped into this, it's a different world than even when you remember a year and a half ago, right?
Also just being with a new organization, and the Mariners are pretty advanced, I think, on the pitching side of things, and just having some conversations, and I'm like, just opening my eyes to some new ways of seeing things from a pitching side. So I mean, in the whole the minor league world, I haven't been in the minors since 2017, and it's like, you don't tip the way you used to.
Really?
Well, yeah, it's like everything's changed in the clubhouse. Food's a lot better.
Was it Venmo? I mean, what do you mean?
No, it's like, you used to pay dues. There's no dues.
Okay.
Like regular dues. We
Yeah,
used to have to pay us, every level had a certain number. You had to
Yeah.
pay the clubby for food and laundry, and now it's, I guess it's like all
That's
covered
why.
by the team.
Yeah.
The housing, well, my situation's different, but like most of these guys, the housing's all paid for.
Yeah.
Set up for you when you get there. Like, that did not happen.
That's wild. I didn't even think of that. I mean, so it's been
a different world.
It's been 8 years, right?
Yeah.
You said
8 or 9.
17. Yeah. Since mine. Wow.
6-game series, which I think is great.
Yeah.
It's a long time, but it cuts the travel way down. Things like that. It's just a different world.
Can you elaborate on the contraptions or the new stuff or the whatever?
It's nothing crazy. I mean, I haven't been there that long, but just every bullpen's got TrackMan and slow-mo video, and it's like, it's not forced down, or at least for me, it hasn't been like forced down my throat. Hey, you got to look at these things. It's just like, hey, do you want to look at your numbers? No? Okay. Or if you do, you check your numbers,
right.
Watch a couple of slow-mos, make sure the ball's coming out right. Go on with your day. Like, it's just there if you need it. It's kind of just.
I think the Mariners are sort of an under the radar team in that respect.
Yeah, I mean, you just look. They got a pretty good track record of developing starting pitching, which is not many teams are doing that well right now as far as developing starters that can go deep into games. So far what I've seen, it makes a lot of sense why they've had some success.
So when you come back, sometimes like you go to, it's the Ryan Brazier thing. I'm going to go to Arizona for 10 days and learn a cutter, and I'm going to be awesome. When you got there, you went there, was it basically just picking up where you left off in terms of this is what I have, this is what I am as a pitcher, and then we'll figure it out from there?
Yeah, they haven't tried to change anything for me yet. I think they're going to let me get a few innings under my belt and see where we're at and see if there's any things that could easily be fixed or improved on. But, I think my track record's good enough to where if I'm healthy, they know that I know how to use my stuff. So we'll see. I'm just, like I said, take a day at a time, and I'm open to suggestions if they have them, but I just know I need to get right physically, mentally, be in the zone, and good things will happen.
So the last thing is sort of, as we sit here, you have, like you said, a donkey in your hat or whatever it is. You have a Mariners jersey. Are you like, this has been a long road, man, like a long road, but this is another great story for you.
Yeah, it's just part of the journey, man.
Yeah.
It's, I'm lucky. I know there's a lot of really good pitchers out there right now that don't have jobs in pro ball.
Yeah.
Whether it's they have an injury history or, they've had too much ups and downs in their career. But every time I get signed and somebody gives me a chance to put on a jersey, like I'm appreciative. So.
When you turn, happy birthday.
Pretty close, yeah.
I think 1 week from when we're taping is. That would be 40.
That's 40.
Can you imagine, and this is an unfair question, but whatever, can you imagine hey, what's going on? That Daniel Bard, as a younger player, what are you going to be doing when you're 40?
I thought I'd be.
You retired. How old were you when you retired?
33.
33.
Yeah. 32, 33.
So 40, you probably thought you're going to own a team or be a GM.
I don't know what I thought.
But
I don't think that far ahead.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah.
But no, it's surreal to be still doing it at my age. I don't feel 40.
No, you look great.
I get like mentally, I still feel like I'm 26.
Yeah.
Still, I think it's funny, no matter how long you play this game, every time you go out to perform, you still want to show that I belong here.
Yeah.
It's not just, I don't know if everybody feels that, but for me, it's like, that's what drives me. That's what kept me going through the whole rehab process, was like, I don't want to go out and just be okay or be this shadow of myself. Like, I want to go out and show that I'm going to put myself out there, that it's going to be pretty good. And it might not be 99 miles an hour, but it might not have to be. I want to show that I can still compete, and so it makes you take pride in what you do. And I think that's the only reason I've been able to do it this long, is probably just that. I think every athlete that performs at a high level, they're a little bit of a perfectionist, a little bit, it's that, what do you call it, like insecurity, but you're always wanting to prove yourself to somebody, whether it's teammates, coaches, somebody in the stands. Like, you're always just it's a little fire that burns in you. And I think when that is gone, then it's time to be.
Yeah, and you still have it. Yeah. By the way, 94 is the new 99.
That's what I've heard.
I mean, this is a fact.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.